it begins as an early Christian in my 20s. With an eagerness to serve God's kingdom, I found out fairly quickly that street evangelism and having cold encounters with strangers was not my strong suit. I was not gifted in that. Unfortunately, this did bring on some shame early on, as I was publicly laughed at on the streets of Renton for my efforts to share the gospel. But as I continued in my journey, it did not end there. I did not let that stop me. I found a way that better matched my gifting through serving others. My best example of this takes place on a cold night in Seattle when I was working with the Union Gospel Mission to hand out food and blankets to the homeless. I hadn't gone out that night with the intent to share the gospel, only to serve. But through having conversations with those who I was serving, I was able to share the gospel and pray with a young man on a street corner. He was having his first night alone, homeless in Seattle. And I was able to learn about his story. I was able to lay hands on him and pray for him in a public setting. I encouraged him to find a church and find a Bible. I don't know what ended up happening to this gentleman, but I do pray to this day that maybe I'm part of his story.